Have you considered why is it so hard to learn a new language? I think there are three reasons. The first one is that when you are learning a language, you can't find someone to communicate with to practice your targeted language. The second one is that you don't have the right method to learn a new language. The third one is that your mother tongue prevents you from learning a second language. Let's discuss the first reason. Firstly, I will expound with my own experience. Because I'm a Chinese and almost 99% of Chinese are learning English, so I have to use English learning as an example. In China, it is very difficult to meet a foreigner in a small town. Many Chinese students have never even spoken to a foreigner before university. Even after graduating from university, most of them have never even spoken to a foreigner. In fact, for most students, they have never spoken English in their entire learning process. See such a phenomenon that some people in the university will try their best to talk to foreigners. Let me give you an example. One time, two foreign students from South Asia or Africa, I don't remember exactly, asked me where they can find the site of the Tiantian Express. I know exactly where it is because I picked up a delivery there not long ago. So I told them, go east until you get to the second traffic light, and turn left and ask a few more people from there and you'll find it. Before I could finish, a girl ran up and offered to take them over. Why did she show them such enthusiasm? There was a good possibility that they want to find a foreigner to practice their English with. At the time, it was considered a great honor to know a foreigner, because most people didn't have foreign friends at the time, and if you do, you can show off to your friends. They also want to show the warmth of the Chinese people who travel around the world. You probably can feel the enthusiasm in countries where there are fewer foreigners. This goes to show that they want to put what they've learned into practice and get some satisfaction and fun out of it. It's like playing games. You learn some new skills and you put them into practice. That's why you want to keep playing games. Let's talk about the second reason. When it comes to English learning, for 99% of Chinese students, what they mainly do is to memorize words, grammar, and the structure of the sentences. They just use these techniques to do exercise. The only thing they mainly focus on is reading, but even when they do reading, they tend to refer to the translation and analyze the structure of the sentences. Even after they've memorized for more than 2,000 words, still they have to refer to the translation when they do reading. They spend most of their time on memorizing words and analyzing the structure of the sentences. They just don't spend a little bit of time on reading without referring to the translation. They just use these techniques to do exercises. They spend a lot of their energy on memorizing just random words and struggling with grammars instead of enjoying the knowledge of the text itself. So when it comes to learn English, they always have a sense of resistance. Even though they spend a lot of their time on reading, but they don't want to do that at all. Not to mention listening, because listening is much harder than reading. For writing and speaking, we almost never spend time on them. The third reason is that their mother tongue prevents them from improving their English. Even if we have the English environment, but still many of us cannot master the English in the end. Because we've already mastered our mother tongue, we can communicate with our peers and our students in our mother tongue. So the desire for learning a foreign language decreased. If we want to express our thoughts, we tend to speak in our mother tongue because we can express our thoughts specifically, and we can make other people understand our thoughts easily. When we get out from school or work, we tend to watch movies or TVs or videos in Chinese. Because when we watch these videos, there is many words that we can understand, so we can feel relaxed and we can relax our brain. But when we watch videos in English, there are probably many words that we don't understand that we have to refer to the dictionary. Then that means that we are learning knowledge When we learn something, our brain is going to be strained. So we're going to be tired and sometimes nervous. But when we, as a baby, all we do is listening. Our parents and relatives are going to teach us some words repeatedly and patiently. So we can slowly figure out what the meaning of these words. When we can walk, we can slowly communicate with other children. We are learning the language with a lot of fun because we are playing with our mates, our other children. And every day we learn very little. Every day when we learn something new, we can apply and show what we've learned to other children. It's very interesting, so we don't feel tired. When we've already mastered our mother tongue is very easy to us. We want to communicate our thoughts with our mother tongue. But at this time, if we are learning another language, but we can't use the language to communicate with our playmates or students, it's gonna be boring for us. So we don't want to continue doing it. Even though we know that English is very important for us, we just continue doing it with our volition. But volition is not a very good tool for learning. Interest is, but many of us don't know how to develop the interest for English learning. So after more than 10 years of English learning, we barely can speak one complete sentence after graduating from university. Finally, how to improve our English effectively? Because most of the Chinese people don't have the English environment, so we cannot learn English as children learn their mother tongue. For most of us are not child anymore, so we neither have the English environment nor have the foreign people to help us practice our English patiently. So we have to focus our study on reading and listening first. So what should we do first? I think we should read and listen in the beginning. We have to know some basic words and sentences and phrases. After learning for 1 month, we should start do some listening. In the beginning, the audio or video materials should no longer than 5 minutes. When we learn the audio or video materials, we shouldn't refer to the translation at all. If we have to, we should just do it occasionally. But the listening material should not be longer than 5 minutes. Because as a beginner, you're listening and watching English videos or audios. There are gonna be a lot of new words and phrases that you can recognize. If the listening materials are longer than 5 minutes, there's a good possibility that you are gonna lose your patient. But the new words and phrases, if they can understand, they should only refer to the dictionary. After they look it up in the dictionary, they should add the new words and sentences to their vocabulary list. And they should review it the next morning. They should write it down without looking at the words for 3 times. But the first time they may misspell it. After they check their mistakes, they should write it again. This time they may write the word correctly, and they should write it again to memorize it, to strengthen their memory of this word. After memorizing the words and phrases, they should listen to the material again. When you're listening, you're also doing reading. You cannot understand when you're reading it. You can understand it when you're listening. After you listen to the material for the second time, and you can move on. But you should be able to understand what the material are saying when you're listening it. At this time, I think my reading is okay, but not good enough, but I also can listen English. But my writing and speaking is very poor, especially my oral English. That's why I'm filming this video. All this time, I've been practicing my reading and listening. In this past few months, I try now to look at subtitles when I'm watching videos or transcripts when I listen to audiobooks. Because when you are taking an exam, if you have an audio, there are some places that you can understand. There won't be some transcripts for you to refer to when you can understand. I have to force myself to connect the meaning of the word to pronunciation of the word. That's why I try not to look at the subtitles when I'm watching videos. All of the sentences that I have been saying, I know almost all of them are not correct because I haven't spoken to any foreigners. I don't have the English environment, and I don't have the money to hire someone to talk to me in English. I have to speak English myself. From now on, when I'm watching videos or listening to audiobooks, I find some sentences that I think is good. I'm gonna copy them down and use them in my following videos. That sentences are gonna be my own sentences, so I can use them freely afterward.